Hello, I'm Jeff Myers, and welcome to Elgin Today. On this edition, she moved to Elgin over 40 years ago. Nipapon Laura Robertson was born in Laos, and she has a successful story to tell in a soon-to-be-released book entitled $40 and a Dream. We talk with Kristen Sundquist, the City of Elgin's preservation specialist, about the May 4th Mayor's Awards for Preservation Night, which will take place in the historic Discovery Church building. The Mayor David Captain segment originates from City Hall, as the mayor's guest is downtown business owner Chris Sumner. An old friend, Christina Gonzalez, has a new job. She is the Community Relations Director for the nonprofit group Food for Greater Elgin. We'll have these stories and more on this edition of Elgin Today. For our next segment on the April edition of Elgin Today, our guest is Nipapon Sarabantse. I'm close with that, am I not?
Yes, you did great.
That's
Thank
your
you.
Original name. We want to set the stage. We know you. How now, your name?
Laura Robertson.
Your story is amazing. You've written a book. You got a book coming out.
Yes.
About your time in Laos, how you got to Tennessee, how
Yes.
you got to Elgin. That whole story, is that right?
That, absolutely.
We're so delighted. You love Elgin, don't you?
I love Elgin. That's why my business is here in Elgin.
Tell me the title of your book.
$40 and a Dream.
That's when you came to the country, this country,
Yes.
as a 2-year-old, is that
As
right?
a 2-year-old, and my parents had $40 in their pocket.
Wow.
And a dream.
And so that led you to this book. You're a successful
Yeah.
business lady here in our city, are you not?
I am. Yes, we have a couple of businesses. One is iLocal Online Marketing, which is a digital marketing company, and the other one is Beautiful Potential, which is a salon media center.
Wow.
We have up in there studio, video, photography, and also coaching and development.
Wow.
Because I believe in education and I believe in coaching and developing others.
I need a lot of coaching, as you know.
Yeah.
But let's get back
Yes.
to that book. That'll come out
Yes.
in just a few months. As we talk in April, we can expect
Yes.
it this summer.
Yes, by the summer. Right now it's with Rose Gold Publishing Company, and so they're finalizing all of the edits and things like that, and then getting it ready for publishing.
Your inspiration for the book, your dad's still with you,
Yes.
Dad, and
Yes.
he didn't talk much, but you were getting some stories out of Dad. That's your inspiration for the
Yes,
book?
my inspiration for the book was after hearing my father's story about how he, the history of our country and what happened. And it was just an eye-opener. My husband had to do a book report, right, while he was going for his marketing degree, and he had to interview somebody from out of the country. And I'm like, well, I don't know my history. Like, what do you want me to tell you? So I called my dad, and I'm like, hey, Dad, I need to know what's up. Like, where do we come from? Who are we? Like, And so that just opened up a whole new door for me.
Really? Okay.
My uncle here, he found out where we were, and that's what he did. He's passed away now. However, he would find out where all the Laotian or family members are that landed around the United States, and he'd literally go and pick them up and bring them to Elgin.
Wow.
And
Wonderful.
so he found out we were in Tennessee, and he went and picked us up in a U-Haul. So imagine a U-Haul, there's 7 of us in the front.
Wow.
My family of 5, and then the driver, 6 of us, and then one of my uncles sat in the back of the U-Haul coming from Tennessee, and that's how we came to Illinois.
Elgin. And of course, we here in Elgin know that second largest Laotian population
Yes.
after Chicago. We're number 2. We had 1,400
Yes.
in the census in 2010, but we have more than that now.
There's more,
We've
yeah.
always laid claim, and we always enjoy the New Year here, don't
Yes,
we?
we
Laotian
have a
New
lot
Year.
of fun. Yeah, we believe in keeping the culture alive,
Oh, gosh, yeah,
and
gosh,
bringing
and
it with us. It's a
rightfully so.
beautiful culture.
Your title of your book again coming out.
$40 and a Dream.
It's how it all came about for you.
It's-
That's available this summer.
Yes, yes.
And we're excited about that. We appreciate that. And Dad could probably talk to us, couldn't he?
Yeah, he speaks
Could we get him-
a little bit of English.
Well, that would be
yeah.
wonderful. We appreciate that because we're so proud of our
Yes.
Laotian population,
Thank
the
you.
Lao population, and all the good folks that helped it out.
Thank
Your
you.
story is exciting, and you're successful here in Elgin,
Thank
Illinois,
you.
and you got a wonderful granddaughter and
Yes.
daughter, and so you're living the good life.
Yes, and I appreciate you covering my story. It means a lot to us and our community as well.
Laura Robertson, we appreciate that very much. Your story is so good. I think we'll be back again, okay?
Okay, awesome.
When the book's out, we'll see you
Yes,
again.
that would be awesome.
I wish I had $40 we'd have our dream right now. Laura Robertson,
Yes.
thanks for talking to us. It's exciting news. Your
Thank
life
you.
has been incredible.
Thank you so much.
That's our story.
Appreciate it.
And we'll see you. That's our segment with Laura Robertson.
Thank you.
We are delighted to talk it over with Christian Sundquist, the preservation specialist for the city of Elgin. You, my dear, in May, you're going to have a whole program for us.
Yes, we're really excited about it.
The nominations, you've already selected who's going to be given that preservation award, the mayor's award for preservation on that night. So tell us how that goes and some of the folks that we'll salute.
Right, so it'll be May 4th, and the Heritage Commission approved 11 award recipients. All of them are so much deserving. We're really excited to give those out, and the first being which the Elgin Public Museum, they just celebrated 100 years.
Wonderful.
And they put out a booklet.
Beautiful book, I've got that.
Yeah, The White Elephant. And so it was a great publication. We're excited to give them a Mayor's Award. Speaking of Lord's Park, Terry Gable and Sue Brigham, they are the leaders of the Lord's Park Zoo. And and so they've been doing amazing work with that zoo. And a lot of people, thousands of visitors come to look at it, so they are so deserving of a Mayor's Award as well.
And they hope they have a full summer this year, don't they?
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, wonderful. If we leave anybody else off that list you have, of course you can go up to the city site and see all those names, can't we?
Yes, definitely. And we will be doing this as a Facebook Live event.
Oh, I would love those.
Yeah, and so if you can't make it to the event and we find that we are only allowed so many people, you can look on Facebook and view the event that way.
And over the years, you've gone to historic places in town, haven't you? A couple years ago, that wonderful church.
Right, the Iglesia de Príncipe de Paz. It was the first Universalist church. And yeah, that space was great. We like to keep our awards ceremony in town, so downtown area. So we like to move and highlight these historic buildings that many people might not know about.
Wonderful. And Discovery Church, you said, has plenty of room inside for events.
Right. So historically, it was the Grove Theater, and it was built in 1920. It was the first theater hall that showed silent films. So really interesting. Yep.
And then we went to talkies later.
Right. That's right.
Well, we're going to run out of time here quickly as we talk with you, but we appreciate that. Again, the listing's right up on the city side for all the folks that we didn't mention everybody. May 4th, can folks come out?
We're hopeful, but it might be a lottery system because we're still going to be limited to the amount of people in the space.
Probably about 50-ish or so.
Yeah.
So that's May 4th. That'll take place right here.
Yes, you're right.
Kristen, we appreciate it. It's been it's nice to be back talking outside.
I know, it's so nice.
We appreciate all your great work as a preservation specialist. Good duty there.
Thank you.
And Christian Sundquist with us. We're looking forward to that event taking place on May 4th right here. We're at Food for Greater Elgin. Get a chance to talk with an old friend, Christina Gonzalez. You now are the Community Relations Director for Food for Greater Elgin. Is that right?
Yes. So I am now here at Food for Greater Elgin, continuing my support of providing local food, fresh food to the community. This community now has expanded. So we service Elgin, South Elgin, East and West Dundee. So anyone who's hungry can come in, pick from all of our great shelves, pick food. Once a week, we've got really great hours for clients. They can either come in the afternoon, they can come in the morning, or if you're a senior, you get a designated shopping day on Fridays. So we try to be open as often as we can to try to reach everyone so that they can feed their families.
So the groups you serve, you mentioned the senior services, so you connect with senior services and set up time for those folks to come over, is that right?
Yes. So we have great ways that people can come get food. They can obviously come into our warehouse on distribution days, or if you're a senior, we do senior deliveries. Our volunteers pack all of our boxes and then they distribute them out to the seniors. We also deliver to high impact populations. So we actually go out into the neighborhood and give out boxes of food as well.
Wonderful service. Now, folks, recently you had folks come to you. How did they get involved in coming to you, that group?
So what's really great is we rely strongly on all of our great volunteers. They can come to us, email us at info@foodforgreaterelgin.com, give us a call. Very handy number for everyone to know. You can reach us at 847-931-9330. Call us, you want to volunteer, you need food, you know someone who needs food. We're here to feed, we're not going to turn you away. Hungry people are always going to be there, and we're happy to serve them.
It's time for our segment with Elgin Mayor David Captain. Mayor, we're in your office again, and you've lined up a wonderful guest for us.
We are, Jeff, and I want to welcome Chris Sumner to City Hall. Chris is the owner of Mama Lee's Gourmet Popcorn. And we're going to talk really briefly about popcorn, but I have some more important questions for him. And Chris, how'd you get started in the popcorn business?
Well, it all started from a dream. It was my mother's recipe that was passed down from my grandmother down to me. From my grandmother to my mother, and then down to me. So it was her recipe. I got started back in 2015, just stepped out on faith to kind of make my dream come a reality, and that's how I got here.
And Mama Lee is your mom's name?
Yes, Mama Lee's is my mom's name,
All right,
so
it's
Lee is
official,
her
man.
name, yes.
That's great. Congratulations on that.
And that leads us into what I really want to talk about today, because it was Chris's dream, and I want to talk to him and have him explain to us what it's like to be a minority business leader and a businessman and a small business owner, and how it was to survive during the pandemic, and how'd you get started? How did you get funding? We know where the idea came from, but how did you make that idea become reality?
So in the beginning, I'm a big saver, advocate saver. So I always saved everything. So I knew when I had to start, I invested everything that I had. So I saved everything up. So I didn't take out any loans or anything like that. So I just saved all my money throughout the course of the years and just invested into myself when it came to opening up Mama Lee's. During the pandemic was a time for me to begin to be creative. I mean, it was different for everybody. Nobody, kind of knew what COVID would have in store for us. So I knew that it was a race, and we had to run it like a marathon, right? So we had to pace ourselves. I see a lot of businesses went out of business throughout this course of the time. So for me, it's just about staying relevant, as far as with the customers, letting them know that, hey, we're still in existence, and we're still here. And a lot of that energy went to social media, just letting people know that, hey, we're here, entertaining people. Everybody's at home, letting them know that, hey, we do have a popcorn shop that's downtown Elgin, and you can come and patronize the business. You can order online. You can come into the store. Once after everything opened back up, you come back into the store. But we were doing free local deliveries, different things that we've never implemented prior to. So, we just had to adjust, and that's what we did, and that's what kind of had us kind of still succeed and still stay afloat just throughout the course of the pandemic, which was an awesome thing.
Sure. Now, you've gone through almost a year, a little over a year now of the pandemic, and how do you see this as I always talk to people about the things that are going to stick around. And I think Zoom meetings are going to stick around for one thing. And what do you, from your business and how you changed your business the last year, what do you see sticking around for the future?
So I see us doing free local delivery, right? That's something that we've never implemented. So just being able to have a services where for those that don't want to come out of the house, that don't want to be surrounded by other people, still being able to give them an option that will still be able to allow them to stay safe at the same time. So I see that kind of still sticking around, just being able to have different delivery services available for people. So I would say, yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I see sticking around.
Okay, and I've talked to some grocery owners and those types of things as well, and they said they think that's going to be something that people have kind of they've kind of accepted.
Yes.
Never would have done it 2 years ago, but they've accepted that, and they said they may modify it a little bit and look at doing it on certain days.
Yes.
That we'll have delivery on certain days of the week, and the people will adapt to that. It's not going to be just call and we get your things sent out to you. If you could see anything different from us, I guess as at the end of the pandemic, what would you hope the city would do, and what would you hope that we could see as part of how we change as doing it? We're a business too. I said we're a not-for-profit because we at the end of the year we don't have any money. But how do you see us changing, and what should we do at the end of this pandemic?
I say at the end of this, it's going to be a rebuilding stage, right? So across the world, I mean, whether it's malls, other cities, especially, it's rebuilding. So basically, it's putting that energy, that time back into existing businesses that's here to help them kind of get that momentum, to have them kind of get out of the shell of COVID, So once things are over, to kind of fuel them to where they're still able to survive, and then promoting other businesses to come and open up, because ultimately, like you said, even with Zooms, a lot of companies now, they will kind of scale back and have people working from home. A lot of businesses that close down, that do go online, that's perfect, but ultimately it's the day-to-day, what's going on with the spaces. So making sure that we're kind of like promoting and getting people to come out to say, hey, here's a space for you. What's your business idea? What's your business plan? Let's have this business model available here. So that way it can kind of promote businesses within the community, which is good for the economy.
Sure.
And Mayor, where Chris is, your city's looking to expand that building, the building extension where he's at, aren't you?
Yes.
So that's a key component as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think, we're expecting about $22 million in federal relief funds. And it goes for infrastructure, things that are COVID related. If you could write the check, what would you do? Where would you see some of that money going?
Okay, so the biggest thing I always say is, how do we continue to keep the economy going, right? So
Yeah.
it's businesses, whether it's giving the money to grants, for small businesses or upcoming businesses, some kind of incentive to kind of draw people back to Elgin, especially downtown Elgin. So I say with a large sum of money like that, I say naturally it's better to invest it within the downtown area, so that way it can rise up. So that way the economy is still booming, especially within the downtown. I mean, even having the apartments above where I'll be, downtown, that's perfect, But I think about all of the residents. What's better than Elgin being like an Oak Park or Naperville, to where all of the residents that's here, they can go downstairs, they can get coffee, pastries, popcorn, haircuts, they can go to a hat shop. I thought that was a real cool thing. Like, I think about different boutiques in other towns to kind of make the city kind of just vibe. So some type of incentive to kind of draw people or business owners to say, hey, come put your business here, come do business with Elgin, and let's grow Elgin together.
Yeah, some communities have closed off streets. They found out with
Yes.
opening cafe and outdoor dining that it was
Yes.
something that people really like, so they closed the streets to traffic to allow that to happen. That's a big change for downtown. You always get pushed back. Well, my business is down there, and people got to drive up, and I like them to be able to walk into the store. But those are the kind of decisions, and it's we've gone through a number of changes downtown, but it's probably time to let's take a look and see what happens here. The world's changing.
Yes.
And we better change with it.
Yes.
We only have a couple minutes left. This is probably the easiest question for you, but it might be the toughest. I want you to give advice to a young person starting out in business.
Okay.
Give them 2 or 3 things that you would say, whether they're a minority or just a young person starting out in business. How do you feel are the most important things to be successful?
Oh man, okay. I love this question. So first thing, and I'll try to give a little bit more in the time crunch. First thing is, I always tell people, write down your goals, write down your dreams, put it on paper so that way you can see it. Begin to create a map, and ultimately taking that first step. So many people have the idea of a dream or a goal or starting a business, but they're afraid to take that first initial step. So I always tell people, take that first initial step. Call the city, find out the information you need, right, to be able to open your business and have it established. And then after that, everything will begin to kind of open up. Keep that momentum going, So when you get to step 1, you must take step 2, and before you know it, you'll be there. But I always tell people, my father always tell me, nothing beats a failure but a try. So if you never try, you'll never know whether or not you'll succeed in business or anything in life if you never give it a shot. And ultimately, you'll be surprised on the success that you'll have. I always tell people I treat failure like gold, right? So if I fail at anything that I do, it's a learning experience for me. So I'm always able to go back and say, what did I learn and what would it take for me to be successful down in the future? So I always tell people, go out there, just take the shot, hit or miss. You'll never know unless you try.
Yeah, there you go.
Wonderful.
And as a retired scientist and retired chemist, one of the things I always tell people, I learned as much from my mistakes and the failures. And don't just dismiss them and say, well, this didn't work out, but you got to learn from that. And maybe someday you'll come back and revisit. Maybe the timing wasn't right.
Right.
But,
Mayor, we're down to about 30 seconds.
okay. Chris, thank you for doing this. And really, it's pleasure to have young people and startup businesses in Elgin, but it's always a challenge. And this has probably been the most challenging time for us as a city and for us as a city council in well over 100 years.
Yeah.
So if you can survive through this, and you've done that, you're talking about expanding, so you've done an outstanding job. Congratulations on your success.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, thanks, Mayor. Chris, we love your hat, too.
Thank you so much.
Mayor wants that, I think.
He can have it.
Hang it right here. Chris Sumner, we appreciate that. Mayor, that was the quickest 10 minutes we've done in a long
It's
time.
been great.
We
And,
learned a lesson, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. And we'll look forward to next month.
That's our segment with Mayor David Captain.
Hola, mi nombre es Lorena Núñez, soy la coordinadora de alcance comunitario de Greater Elgin Family Care Center. Nuestro centro de salud tiene 9 ubicaciones en el norte de Illinois y estamos aquí para servir a la familia. Ofrecemos servicios médicos, dentales y servicios para la salud de la conducta. Aceptamos pacientes que tienen seguro y también personas sin seguro. Hace 3 meses empezamos a vacunar la comunidad y estamos muy felices de poder ayudar a la comunidad a vacunarse porque cada vacuna cuenta. Cada vacuna nos ayuda a acercarnos más y más a poder ponerle un fin a esta pandemia. Actualmente hay 3 vacunas que son autorizadas por la Administración de Drogas y Alimentos de los Estados Unidos. Está la vacuna contra el COVID-19, Moderna, Pfizer y Johnson Johnson. El Departamento de Salud de Illinois le recomienda que usted tome la vacuna que sea disponible para usted. Todas estas vacunas son seguras y han sido autorizadas por la Administración de Drogas y Alimentos de los Estados Unidos. Cuando la mayoría de la comunidad sea vacunada, es cuando podremos volver a la normalidad. ¿Cuántas personas de nosotros no conocemos a tal vez familiares, amigos que han fallecido o tal vez han sido hospitalizados a causa del virus, del COVID-19? Es por eso que esta es una oportunidad para usted a protegerse y proteger su familia y asegurarse de que usted pueda estar presente aquí para su familia. Recuerde que las vacunas son gratuitas para todas las personas que sean elegibles, incluso también personas que son indocumentadas también son elegibles para recibir esta vacuna y también las pueden recibir gratuitamente. Nadie será rechazado y cuando sea su turno le van a dar su vacuna. Tal vez si usted ya ha tenido el COVID-19, piensa que no se necesita poner la vacuna, pero al contrario, aunque usted haya contraído el virus del COVID-19, aún debe de vacunarse. En realidad no se sabe cuánto tiempo tiene usted inmunidad después de que se recupere. Recuerde que el virus se sigue propagando en nuestra comunidad y debemos de trabajar juntos para mantenernos seguros. Es muy importante que sigamos usando las mascarillas, las reglas del distanciamiento social y también lavarnos las manos y usar desinfectante. En las próximas semanas, más gente será elegible y cuando sea su turno, asegúrese de vacunarse. Haga su cita y vacúnese. Entonces, ¿cómo es que puede usted buscar una cita? En realidad, hay muchas vacunas, hay muchos lugares en Illinois que están ofreciendo la vacuna. Y Greater Elgin Family Care Center es uno de ellos. También el condado de Kane tiene un sitio de vacunación en Batavia donde usted puede vacunarse. Puede visitar canevax.org para hacer su cita o llamar también. Esta vacuna representa esperanza. Esperanza de que podremos volver a la normalidad y que nuestras familias pueden seguir juntas. Así es de que cuando sea su turno, asegúrese de vacunarse.
Hola, soy Cristina from Food for Greater Elgin. Si usted necesita comida y necesitan comprar comida para la familia, pueden venir aquí. Es gratis y tenemos mucha comida para coger. Estamos abiertos 5 días de la semana, lunes a viernes, y pueden venir, no tienen que pagar nada. Necesitan una licencia o algo que tiene la dirección de la casa y puedes venir a comprar. Siempre estamos aquí para ustedes y si necesitan que te llevamos comida, podemos hacer eso también. Si necesitan ayuda, nos puedes llamar. El número de teléfono 846-931-9330.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Gaby Vargas, soy la fundadora de la Fundación de Gaby Vargas para la Prevención de Suicidio. Actualmente el problema de salud de suicidio es la causa de muerte número 2 en los jóvenes de 10 años a 24 años de edad. Lamentablemente es un problema de salud que afecta a todas las comunidades, no importa la raza, nivel social, en dónde trabajas, de dónde vienes. Por eso para mí es importante traer eventos que crean conciencia sobre lo que es el suicidio, eventos y programas donde hablamos sobre lo que es la salud mental y cómo podemos ayudar a esas personas que están buscando la ayuda en nuestra comunidad, que enfrentan trastornos mentales como la depresión, ansiedad y hasta esas cosas como cuestionar el valor de su vida. Estamos aquí en el 21 Sur South Spring Street en Elgin. es el estudio poema, que significa que eres un poema épico, que eres una obra maestra. Es un oasis de esperanza en nuestra comunidad de Elgin, donde estaré dando educación y también estaré dando grupos de apoyo para ayudar a aquellos que necesitan ayuda en atravesar esos momentos de crisis. Conmigo está AJ.
Gracias, Gaby. Hola y buenas noches a todos. Me llamo Alejandro Ramírez y soy aquí con Gaby. Y aparte de poema, soy muy emocionado para estar aquí porque también sabe que está muchas cosas que como a una comunidad necesitamos hacer. Y este programa va a estar así, va a ayudar con eso. Vamos a move forward.
Mover hacia adelante.
Sí. La comunidad necesita algo así. Un grupo de gente que saben qué necesitamos hacer va a ayudar a todos, porque también los jóvenes y los más grandes saben que necesitamos hacer más con el mental health de todos, de los jóvenes especial, porque ahí empieza, todo empieza con los jóvenes y también con los adultos, los parents de los hijos, porque también ellos necesitan ayudar a sus niños.
Yo puedo relacionarme con alguien allá en el público, alguien que está mirando este video, que está enfrentando un momento donde se siente con depresión. Es un momento donde tal vez no tienes ganas de bañarte, no tienes ganas de comer, tal vez comes de más, tal vez estás subiendo de peso, estás bajando de peso, no tienes motivación, no le encuentras ninguna motivación a la vida. Para aquellas personas que están sufriendo ese momento, lo que yo les puedo decir en lo personal es que hay esperanza. Tienes que encontrar esas cosas que te dan alegría, tal vez un pasatiempo, tal vez una conexión como lo que tenemos aquí en Poema. Saber que lo que tú sientes es real y muchos lo estamos atravesando, especialmente después de COVID, después de que muchos nos ha cambiado la vida, especialmente a los niños, de que ahora están en un antisocial, en un ambiente antisocial. A aquella persona que está sufriendo, yo le digo que no te sientas con pena de pedir ayuda. De hecho, vas a encontrar más esperanza en decir, necesito ayuda. Está bien que en este momento no te sientas bien. Está bien que en este momento no le encuentres motivación a la vida. Tal vez has sufrido traumas, tal vez has sufrido separaciones en tu familia, desde tu país, que extrañas todo lo que tienes allá. Pero lo que yo te puedo decir a ti es que cada día es un regalo. Y cada experiencia que tú has tenido tiene un motivo y esa experiencia te puede ayudar a encontrar esa esperanza que tú necesitas para vivir, para despertarte todos los días y decir que la vida es bella. Es difícil, pero es bella. Y creo que esta conexión es importante para poder dar ese mensaje de esperanza a todos los que necesitan esa chispita de luz en un momento de oscuridad. Para todos aquellos que se sienten solos en un momento de oscuridad, en un momento donde tu vida no significa nada para ti porque te sientes que no puedes salir de ese hoyo, yo en lo personal te quiero decir, mi historia es esperanza. Yo sé que puedes salir adelante y que siempre hay una solución para todos esos problemas o todas esas circunstancias difíciles que puedes llegar a atravesar.
Y que no olvides, no estás solo.
No estás solo. Estaremos compartiendo la línea para la prevención de suicidio si necesitas hablar con alguien en algún momento. También quiero recordártelo en lo personal de que hay esperanza y siempre hay luz al final de todo lo malo. Así que no te des por vencido porque tu vida es bella y puedes hacer mucho y lograr mucho todavía.
For more information, please visit cityofelgin.org. Para más información, por favor visite nuestra página cityofelgin.org. Don't forget, for city services, call 311. Call, click, connect. Para servicios de la ciudad, no olvide llamar 311, llamar, conectar y textear.